Thank you. Yeah, some of you I think I know, but maybe I met some of the others also, but I may not immediately recall. So how many of you are in revenue stage right now? Okay. Revenue for more than 12 months, 12 months?
No, just started last month.
You have more than 12 months? No. I remember. So I know him also. Okay, so what I will do is 2-3 minutes, I'll just give my background. So I passed out of IIT Madras and also IIM Calcutta. 35 years of corporate experience. So I had opportunity to build large businesses myself as part of the corporate sector. I have headed businesses in UK, Europe, US, Australia, and so I've got fairly good exposure to different verticals. I worked in automotive, I worked in aerospace, I worked in IT, financial services, and so on. And 4 or 5 years back, I became the CEO of Chennai Angels. So I had the opportunity to at least evaluate about 6,000-7,000 startups, and we funded 60 startups during my tenure at Chennai Angels. And then I went on to head the SSN Incubation Foundation. That is called SSNI Fund, which is the Shivanadar Group's incubation foundation. So I headed for a year, but I realized I learned a lot more in incubation than I learned in funding, because in incubation I realized the different, the different steps which are important for you to build and grow the organization. So I learned how to build from scratch, and completely different from corporate sector, where corporate we had a brand, we had team, we had people, we had money. So the corporate sector, if you want to build something, it's quite easy because you have everything. But I realized in the entrepreneurship area, where you all start with nothing and build everything from scratch. So I learned a lot in SSN, and I realized that there is a big gap in funding requirement at early stage, and that's how Campus Angel Network has been started, and I head that. I also am on the board of IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, which is again an incubation center, and I am on the investment advisory panels of 7-8 incubators. I am also member of 8-9 angel networks. So I have a fairly good exposure to the ecosystem now, and I typically, even today there are about 4 plus 8, 12 startups I had already was part of 2 different pitch events. One was the FICCI Indian Express Awards, and the other was SSNI Fund had a Startup India Seed Fund Scheme program today. So like that, every month I get to see at least some 100-200 startups, and I continue to do that. So today what I'm going to tell you is going to be useful, because most of the time what happens in pitches, people keep on rambling, and most of the time they talk a lot about their product, and somewhere you lose the thread. So it is very important to be very, very precise and balanced, and there are 7 items which are very important for which we look for, and so it's important that you only focus on these 7 items, and then don't spend more than 1 minute each. So that's how you can actually do the 7 minutes which I think you have been given. So just focus on that, and so I'll get into the topic right away. First is you should introduce yourself. So who we are, why, your qualification, your experience, and then why you are suited for this domain. The domain experience should come out. If you are not the person from the domain, at least the team member who is going to be with you, you have to introduce, so that the domain thing is very important. People look for founder domain match, so, and that is very important. So qualified, experienced in some way, okay, and then also have a domain experience. So this is the first thing which you need to introduce. Should not take more than half a minute. And you could talk also about why you believe that your vision and the startup's vision align. Some story, personal story, if it is there, you can talk about the story. But people don't like. A lot of times we say that tell your story. Unless the story is very compelling, don't tell any story. Okay, but the career which you have taken for yourself and the mission of the startup both should be somewhat aligned. So spend about half a minute rehearsing what you can talk about on about yourself and about the team. Okay, not more than a minute. Don't spend more than that time. Next is what problem you are trying to solve, what need you are trying to fulfill, it should be very compelling, it should be a real problem. Don't use too many words to explain that. People understand the moment you say this is a problem, most of the people understand what the problem is and why you think this is the time to solve, because technologies are available, or why the timing is right, and it should be a really compelling problem which anybody can see, is a problem. So try to be as brief as possible, don't use too many words, just 40, 50 words, I'm saying very, very limited words you try to use and explain what the problem you're trying to solve. It should come out as something which is needed, and when you talk about the problem, you talk about the customer, the particular customer segment who is facing this challenge. So this you need to understand. So for example, articulate the problem. You also demonstrate that you know the market. The thing is, the way you are expressing about that particular problem, it should come out that you know that market. You are aware about that. What is the scenario in that particular market, and the customer you should know. And I said relevance, and why what is the timing? This is the timing. There is a time, right? Time is right to solve the problem, and the urgency. So bring some of these things, but you generally get the idea, right? So don't spend more than a minute on the problem. Founder, straight away get into the problem which you are trying to solve, and then third is, what are you trying to build? So the solution. Before we embark on this, let me spend 2 minutes on some theory which is important for you. See, when an entrepreneur starts a journey, it is about an idea, right? You have an idea and you want to come and solve it, so there is an idea. Immediately what you need to do, that idea has to be validated. You need to really validate whether that idea is strong, whether it resonates with the customer segment, and there is a gap, there is a challenge which they want to fulfill, and so this idea has to be validated. Most of the time people jump into the solution and they build the solution, and then they go to the market, they find nobody wants the product. And most of the startups actually fail because they build something what customers don't want. So the second stage is idea validation, which means you should go and meet 100 customers you think are going to be your prospects, talk to them, understand the gaps, challenges, problems. When you come back to the table, you will find there are 20 problems everybody is talking about, or 10 problems everybody is talking about. So you know there are 10, 20 problems. It may not be the same as what you thought, or it may be more than what you thought, or maybe completely different than what you thought. So you need to have that enough problems or needs which the customer wants. Then you know that you have validated your idea and there is a need for it and people are looking for solutions. So second stage is idea validation. Third stage is designing a solution. You need to design a solution to solve that problem. So what technology to use, what innovation to do, okay, what differentiation can I bring, what uniqueness can I build, how can I ensure it is scalable model. So the solution design requires a lot of thinking and should have enough technology, enough IP going into it so that you become different and you become unique and you give an experience to the customer which is beyond what they are having today, much beyond what they are doing today. So third step in your journey is solution design. The fourth step is building the version 1 of the product, what we call as MVP. So all the 10 you don't have to solve it on day 1. You take 2 or 3 which you think are the most important ones, build a solution to solve that particular 2-3 problems with enough ability to accommodate the other problems later. For example, all of you know Apple version 1, today we are at version 15 I think. So you build a version 1, then version 2. So you build a version 1 product, that is the fourth step in your journey. Then once you have built the version 1 product, you need to go and validate. You need to find out whether the customers are wanting the product, they are willing to pay for the product. Most of the times I find a lot of people, at least in SaaS and some other areas where you don't have to charge immediately, you allow them to download and start using and they give freemium, they call it, but that is not right. You should know from day 1 whether customer is willing to pay for it. Otherwise, that is not right. So you need to iterate, correct, find the right version 1 product which can be sold, which customers are willing to pay for it. That is the 5th step. The 6th step is once you got a product market validation, once you have got customers who are paying or willing to pay for your product, means people are willing to, then you can actually go out and start reaching out to the market. So the next phase is called go to market. Now idea validation is called pre-incubation. Pre-incubation. The idea and idea validation, you don't need much money. You have to do survey and then you have to go on the drawing board and then come with some areas you want to solve. The next phase, which is solution design, version 1 product, and market validation. That is actually the incubation piece. And there, of course, you get grants. Depending on deep technology, you can get more money. So this phase, once you got a product market validation, then you go to market, which is called acceleration. So what customer channel to use, what engagement model I should have with the customer, what revenue model, what pricing. So that is the next phase. And once you have got that right, then you start building the organization. Okay, systems, process, resources, people, etc. You do. So these are the 4 kind of phases which you go through. So keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. So first, what I said talk about the founder. So founder domain fit is most important. Second, the problem you are trying to solve. Third, the solution you are going to use. That's what. So how differentiate, what differentiation can I bring, what innovation I'm going to do. I mean, it has to come out well. Articulate this portion alone, you can take a little more time because you will not be able to express the whole thing immediately. So which is why I'm saying founder you try to finish in half a minute. Problem you take maybe less than a minute. Solution you can take 1.5 minutes. So solution people, because you may want to talk about all the kind of innovation which you are trying to build into a product. Fourth one, which is a customer segment. I mean, but more importantly, what is the size of the market? People want to know how large this opportunity is. If the opportunity is small, then investors won't be very keen to invest. Neither the large corporates. Large corporates get into areas where they can look at scale and get big market. A lot of markets which are small, they will remain small. So it depends on which segment you are getting into. So always get into a market segment which is large. And typically I can use a number if you want to say, it should have at least 1,000 crore market opportunity in India. In India, I'm not talking about global. And so you have to do some mathematics, you will have to do some workout. We need to see whether theoretically what is the kind of market size it can go to in India. 1,000 is a small number in my view, but even 1,000 is a great number because the market always grows later. So keep some kind of a calculation and then see. So, but when you talk to the audience tomorrow, you have to basically talk about, you should give an idea about, I mean, there are about 5 million people who will need this particular thing, and then we believe that this is a kind of size, there is a total market opportunity which is there. So try to have some calculation, and then this will not take more than, people don't want to listen to market, they say I know the market, so don't waste too much time here. Talk briefly for 2 lines, 3 lines and move on. This slide you don't have to spend much time, excepting give a number. Next is, this is the validation I'm talking about. This is the idea validation and also the product market validation, both. So we have talked to so many customers, we have reached out to so many customers, this is the problem we have seen. But in this case, of course, I mean, we are in different products, in different segments. You should say this is what we realized, and then we did a validation. We found people needed it. That's why we have built a solution, and we have actually tested with a few customers, and so there we have got some paying customers, or we can say that some of them are signing up with us, and show enough things to show that you have actually validated the idea, you have actually validated the product market fit. You understood, no? So both have to be covered in this. And this may need a few minutes because validation is most important. Most of the presentations people come and talk to me, they keep on talking about the product, and they don't talk about market at all. They don't talk about validation at all. When you start talking about validation, they say, no, we are just testing and now only we are going to the market and all. They keep building the product, they forget all about the market. So this is a very important piece. Spend some time on this. You have to talk about validation. And you have to show that, yes, there is interest, there are some customers who are willing to pay or have already paid, or you got a pilot order or whatever. Then the next is the go-to-market strategy. Who has crossed the product market validation? If you have your revenue earning and if you may be moving into that direction. But even if you have not reached that, you should have an idea how am I going to go and address the customer. How am I going to tap the customer? Where will I go and look for the customer? So, little theory, normally what go-to-market means, either through web or through mobile, through marketplace, e-commerce, advertisement, social media, the direct sales, distribution channel. So there are different ways you can reach the customer. I mean, theoretically, I'm saying there are so many options. and some will be B2B, where I go through businesses and then reach the customer, end customer. You have to know who's the end customer. There can be businesses, there can be individual customers. Sometimes we go, if it is a individual customer, it's not necessary that you have to go directly there. You can go through some channels who can actually reach you to the customer. So you need to have some understanding of whether it is a B2B business you are doing, or a B2C, or a B2B2C. What is the most effective way? And each business has its own right mix, okay? And what channel you use. So you have some briefly say, I mean, here also people don't like to listen too much because they think they know. So they will not, they will say, but just use a few words to say that this is how I am planning to reach the customer. Whatever the plan is, you see what is the best way to reach the customer. You should have by now have some experience and knowledge about what your product is. So you say that this is how we are going to reach the customer. And you can also talk about how we are going to ensure we engage with the customer. See, customers have to be with you. So you have to have a model where it is a sticky model. Customers stay with you. Customers refer your product. Customers have to be happy with what you are doing. You have to make them loyal. So how are you going to engage with the customers? Think a little through. If you can really think of something which is going to be unique, keep that in mind. So don't spend too much time, half a minute. This is how we plan to reach the customers, and this is how we will ensure that we are able to retain our customers. So this is one piece. And the last piece, I have not talked about three things here. I have not talked about your cap table. You will have your cap table. So when they ask Q&A, you can answer them. Second is, what is the funding requirement? How much money has gone into the project so far? That will come in Q&A. You don't have to really worry about it. They will ask you, but you don't have to really spend that time here. In that 7 minutes, don't spend that time there. And third, they will ask about how are you planning to exit? What is your exit strategy? They may ask. I have not consciously covered it because exit is far away, right? And tomorrow anyway it's Boeing, so it is a strategic thing. So exit may not even come into the discussion. So I have not talked about three things which normally investors will ask. Okay, and in Q&A it can come. So, but you should have a roadmap and business plan. You should say in 3 years' time, I want to grow this business into 100 crores. You should have some kind of milestones. I will become profitable by second or third year. You need to have some financial goals. Okay, and you can talk, I will be reaching this segment, I'll look at the export third year, whatever. You should have depending on what you have plans, try to make it clear and finish it in some, little. I mean, spend about half a minute, not more than that. So in fact, if they say 7 minutes, you should finish in 6 minutes. And people appreciate that, so that you can give more time for Q&A. Ultimately, what happens is, people have a lot of questions to ask, and they find that time is not enough, and they would not have understood you fully. And invariably you lose out. Like today, I did about 8 startups now, and we had about 12 minutes each. 7 plus 5, I mean, same as what you are going to have. Guys are using 10 minutes. On 2 minutes, what will we ask? We don't even know how to rate because they have not covered most of the things. They're talking about product, and completely forgetting about all the other things. So you please ensure that these 7 items. Can we have just item number 1? Founder. About the founder. Second? Problem statement. Third? Solution design. I mean, uniqueness, differentiation. Number 4? Target, addressable market. Okay, 4. 5? Proof of concept. Yeah, validation. Validation is very important. 6th is go to market. 7th is roadmap. Yeah. So these are the 7 things. And you can use half a minute or maybe 3/4 of a minute to talk about promoters. Problem you take 1.25 minutes. Maybe between these 2 minutes. Problem solution you take about 1.5 minutes. This is very important. 3.5. Then 4th one was solution. Then 4th one? TAM about half a minute. So that will be about 3, 4. How much did I say? 2 plus 1, 1.5, 3.5, 4. Then go to market you spend about 1.5 minutes. POC 1.5, 5.5. Go to market, and this would be by about less than about half a minute max. So about 6.5 minutes you should be able to complete. Practice. It's not difficult. Whatever you have prepared, you can finish off this in quickly. I mean, this is how you should work on. and let people ask. Be very, very brief, rehearse, practice. I think tomorrow you are having the presentation, so spend some time and write it down if possible. Okay, write it down, and so that try to memorize if required, but the flow should be quick, fast, efficient, no stuttering. Okay, no thinking back. You can write down notes or whatever you can talk also. So this is what I want to talk about today, and happy to ask some questions, and maybe we can have some of you go on the screen and present. Any questions? Ask, please ask.
Yes, sir. That you have mentioned like 1,000 crores as a market size for the initial set. This is for how many years, sir?
Today,
So the current market.
1 or 2 years, the market has that potential. I may not get all the share, I may get 5%. Never say I'll capture 20% of the market, 30% market. People come and say this market is going to be some 10,000 crores, I'll get 30% market share, I'll be 7,000 crore in 5 years, and I'll have profitability from day 2, and that he will talk. Never be impractical. Talk about practical things, and I have seen so many startups, nobody gets more than 1 or 2% of the market share. And people all start with 10%, 20% and all. If some of you, if you are in those thoughts, I'm just telling you, don't talk about that kind of. This can be a huge market, and I think we'll be early entrants, so the market also will grow. If you want to say the number, good to say a number so that people get a feel for it. If you think it is really big, if you think what you are doing is not that big, okay, I don't know. I leave it that to you, so you will know. Just put a number, it's important. Yeah? Ask.
This market size, like when we are, if we are selling something, so we'll be addressing the new market, like the market and the growth rate of the market. And
So the thing is, what you are delivering may be an existing market, and you are doing something more improved version, and you are trying to capture that market. That could be one type, right? Second would be you are creating a completely new market. It's not there. It is something which you believe there is an opportunity, and then you are entering into it, right? So either there is an existing market or it is a new market. Mostly this will be that, right? So existing market means you already have an idea. Okay, so this particular market, these are the 4 or 5 people who are supplying products, and between them they are doing about 2,000 crores of turnover, and this market is growing at so and so rate. I am coming and entering into this market, which is going to be new. I am going to take some share away from there, and I'll be part of that growth thing. And so maybe so you know that market is 2,000 crores or 3,000 crore. That is the market I am trying to enter. A new market you have to estimate. So estimate means, for example, Paytm came, no? I mean cash. Till then, I mean online thing was only this net banking, okay, and nothing else. And in India maybe some 5 lakh crore worth of cash transactions used to happen. There will be data somewhere. So you know that this is out of this about 20-30% people will change. So you have some idea. You have to do some research. And today with ChatGPT and Bard, you can easily get. You say, this is what I am trying to do. Can you estimate and let me know? It will itself tell you. This is the market I am entering into. This is the product I am trying to bring. This is what I am trying to preach. Can you please quickly research and let me know what is the kind of opportunity? It will tell you. Good Bard will definitely tell you. So we have all that tools today which are available. Any further questions? Please ask. Wherever you are uncomfortable, please ask. Otherwise, we will move on. We'll see a few presentations if you want. Whoever wants to go on the screen can get into it. Yeah? No other questions? Okay. Thanks.